All right, guys, welcome to another episode of the Final Whistle. We're back again. This time I got Yaga and I got Eben here.
What's good,
And today, we're just going to recap Chelsea versus Manchester City. Chelsea take us first loss of the season. We're going to talk about Aston Villa also versus Manchester United. United took us third loss of the season. And then I guess we're going to transition off to North London Derby. We don't have Bobby here because I thought Spurs were going to win it, so I didn't think it would be a good episode to bring Bobby on. But since they lost, I bring him on when things are not going well. So we're going to talk about the Spurs and then the Arsenal game that just ended, and then maybe transition off to what's next for all the teams that we talk about. So, guys, let's start off with the game that just ended. Actually, the game from yesterday, the big Chelsea versus Manchester City game. Ibn, I'm going to get your thoughts real quick on it. I know you didn't see the first half, but you probably saw the second half.
Yeah.
And what we saw the second half was probably a better performance than the first half, but honestly, City dominated the whole game throughout. They were very comfortable. We did not. I'll let you go first, and then maybe I'll give my thoughts on it. But what did you think of the Chelsea? Just the game, just the game before we move on to what's next.
Yeah, so as you mentioned, I didn't really see the entire first half. I saw a glimpse of it, and when I started paying attention to the second half, I noticed one thing. We weren't really too comfortable on the ball. What happened was Man City was basically pressing very high, and we were really pushed back, so we couldn't really connect our passes properly to even get to Lukaku to even convert the chances that he would possibly get. I understand that the approach this time around was much more of a defensive approach. I don't know why we approached that game this way, but I felt like if you're playing home, you should be attacking, and again, with the current squad that you have, you should be attacking. But again, Tuchel probably knows what he's doing, and maybe this is just a game just to try something new, just to see if we're not really if we go further down the season and it comes up to the big six teams, potentially how we can set ourselves against them. So I just feel like this is just a game that we can just call okay, it's a simple loss. We didn't lose to just a regular team. It was Man City. Mind you, we played them back to back from let's say April until now. So it's expected to happen. You're not going to be able to beat a team every day in and out. And the least that we could expected from yesterday's game was a possible draw. But again, I just feel like we had a bad day. Just didn't perform as expected. And again, you just take the L, you just move on. So
for me, right, I wasn't as confident as I was with other games because first we're playing City, and City is City. Regardless of if they have a striker or not, this team is capable of dominating any team in the world, right? So the way that they played wasn't a surprise to me. The way that they dominate possession wasn't a surprise to me. What was a surprise to me is the way that they nullified all our midfielders, and it seems like it was endless pressure from the first whistle to the last. The players weren't comfortable on the ball. It seemed like everything was rushed because they had the high press that we just couldn't bypass for some reasons. And I don't know if Chelsea weren't ready for that. I don't know if we expected that. Tuchel went with the formation that he beat Spurs with a three-man midfield. Honestly, our midfield did not look like they controlled the game because we just couldn't get the ball back to the front. We had to kind of rely on Edouard Mendy kicking the ball long. It seemed like a very uncomfortable situation for the whole team. And usually when that happens, it seems like Tuchel got the tactics wrong. And the guy hasn't had a lot of things wrong, but it seemed like the formation he picked, not very, very much the players, because, Reece James was playing, and honestly, he couldn't get forward because the way that they were playing. It was constant pressure. We just couldn't get the ball, under control and kind of controlling the game like we used to. In Chelsea, when we're not controlling the game, it's hard for anybody to actually get a hold of it. And it seemed like we never got a hold of the game from the start. there was a lot of pressure that it was mounting on us, and eventually they scored on it, and it seemed like it was going to happen because the pressure keeps mounting. The one thing that we did well was we didn't concede a lot of clear-cut chances because we defend very well. But the chances, one of them were meant to go in. So I just think that it was a bad day at the office. It seems like when you beat a team 3 times in a row, you don't learn as much as when you lose to a team 3 times in a row, right? So when you win, you don't learn as much as when you lose. It seems like Man City learned a lot from what they how they lost to the last 3 times they played against us, and they came with a different game plan. And honestly, this game we could have played for 2 hours, and there was no way that we would have won that game.
Jeff just made the point. Pretty much, I mean, coming into the game, the pressure was on City. They've lost 3 times in a row to the same manager, right? So Guardiola coming into this game had to come up with a different plan. I think the way Thomas Tuchel set up from the beginning was too defensive. That's what I think, and that allowed City to play the way they wanted to play. So, with that being said, I don't know why. Let's say in the second half, right? Beginning of the second half, probably I felt like it would have been better if he had brought on Havertz earlier on, right? And then let Kante be Kante, and then take out Kovacic because Kovacic wasn't really himself yesterday. So I feel like TT came out with a defensive mindset, and he played in the hands of City. And, of course, as Jeff said, City would have lent more as opposed to Chelsea winning 3 times in a row. So I think that's how the game ended. And was the goal a good goal? It wasn't a good goal. It was very, very scrappy, but goal is a goal. And
they deserve that.
You guys were set up defensively well. Okay?
Yeah.
That City won in the midfield, and that's how come you guys lost the game. And I don't think the goal wasn't really. It was out of nothing.
Yeah, but they deserve that, honestly.
I feel like the way you guys set up and the way City set up, it would have been a draw game. Yeah, the goal was out of nothing. You guys were set up defensively well, which is not too. Of course, we all know TT is always, he sets up his defense well, but then you guys are always able to attack as well. But in this game, and I think you mentioned something yesterday, they weren't playing in Lukaku's favor. Because Lukaku is the type of striker that you can play him solely up front and he will still dominate the game. But he wasn't even getting the ball. So then at that point, Lukaku's going to be ineffective. And I think that's the only reason why they won. There was a scrappy goal. It wasn't really, they dominated the midfield with just possession here and there. But they didn't have any clear-cut chances as well. So defensively, you guys set up well, but it's just that the goal was a scrappy goal and out of nothing. And that's how come you guys lost.
The point with Lukaku that you were saying, Yaga, that I was telling you guys in the chat, I feel like we didn't get a lot of attacking chances.
But that's what I'm saying.
But it gets to a point where we have to realize who we have and use the guy. Every single time the ball went into this guy, there was something happening. Either he's getting fouled or he's laying off somebody. Right? Like Laporte was too comfortable for my liking because if you put Laporte on Lukaku, it's a lot of times where he's either going to foul him or he's going to spin him. And one time that he spin him in the box, I feel like when we get to a certain point, there was a time in the second half where Aspilicueta had a ball on the right side, and you could see that there was a crossing lane to put the ball in, and he's hesitating. I feel like that's something that Tuchel and the team needs to work on to make Lukaku a focal point of the attack. The ball has to go into him. As soon as he posts up a defender, the ball needs to go to him. And as soon as he gets the ball, all these wingers become alive because he drags so many defenders to him. And I think if we do that more often, he's been scoring a lot of goals. Like he hasn't been getting a lot of chances. When you watch him, he doesn't get enough of the ball for me where he's going to be the $100 million striker that we signed. He's going to score goals, but we can take further steps up if we actually play him as a focal point, right? If we play him as a focal point, he's going to create a lot of chances for himself. He's going to create a lot of chances for other players. He's also going to get a lot of defenders into foul trouble, which is going to benefit us. But I think we need to get to that point.
Does that play in, because, TT plays different. So I don't know if him changing that would actually suit the way he wants to play.
No, you don't have to. Yeah, go ahead, Evan.
But the thing is, again, yesterday's game in particular, again, right, as I was saying, if Reece James was not injured and had to play the full game, 90 minutes, the crosses that you're talking about, those like passing lanes that came about, I feel like he would have been able to deliver, and then potentially we would have scored. So I feel like our game plan got messed up with that injury.
But see, Lukaku, right? Lukaku is the type of striker that he don't play on the flank. You play him directly. You know what I'm saying? So crossing for Lukaku, he's not, he's a good, he could head the ball, but he's not that good in the air. He's the type of guy that play the ball on the ground, let him handle it. That's what Jeff is talking about. So I think with James' comment that you make it still wouldn't have been, because crossing for Lukaku wouldn't attract a lot of players.
No.
Because Lukaku, I feel like he's too strong for any defender. So if you can play through the midfield, right, and give him the ball, I don't think there's any one-on-one defender that could handle Lukaku. I don't think so.
No, but what I was saying is there were chances where he was in front of his guy where he had to put the ball in, and I was
playing from the midfield.
No, actually, Quetta had the ball on the right side, and he wanted to put the ball, and he's hesitating. And then he's hesitating, and then he passes it back to Jorginho. I'm like, put the ball in, give the guy a chance, because he's not. We know he's not the best in the world, but when a ball comes into the box,
I'm talking about he's not the best in the world when it comes to heading the ball.
Exactly. Like when it comes to heading, but when a ball comes in, it doesn't even have to be you winning the header. If you can hold your man off, you holding your man off and just having a better position than your man, just will create chances. He doesn't have to be. He doesn't have to win the ball in the air, but if he wins it, like chesting it or posting up the man and then turning and shooting, something like that has to happen. And I don't think we do that enough, where we use him as a focal point. Like, this guy is our best player, and we need to use him like that. And I feel like there's a lot of times, like that Liverpool game, and where everybody's talking about when there are chances, just put the guy in, and it seems like every time we get there, we get confused on to what we need to do. And I feel like he needs to be option number one. Is always not going to be there, because obviously defenders are not going to let you pass the ball into him. But if the option is not there and you recycle it, when you come back, the option will be there because the defense will shift. When they shift in, that's when you put them in. I feel like when the option is not there, we just forget about it, and then we stop playing the ball.
But
the back line.
I mean, I'm just looking forward to Wednesday's game. Other than that, I feel like we're in a good position right now. This is just a loss. I mean, we just didn't lose to the regular team. It's Man City that you played against. And I'm just hoping that, again, players don't pick up like extensive injuries that's going to keep them out of the team and then leave us in a position where we cannot really perform fully. So I think we're in a good hands and we'll be fine.
And Yaga, I actually have a question for you. I know that one thing that you haven't said, like you haven't said point blank, is you wanted Ole to be sacked. That you haven't said that, but you have said
I want Ole to be sacked. See, the only reason why I've never said that is because I feel like post Feggy, right? What we do is we bring in a coach, he buys 2 or 3 players, and then the moment things doesn't go well, we kick him out. Right? That was the case for David Moyes. 9 months he was out. Right? He only brought in Fellaini. 9 months he was out. Now Van Gaal comes in. He brings in Rojo. He brings in Dele Blind. He brings in Di Maria. He brings in Depay. He brings in Falcao. He brought this other player. His name is Barella. He brought in Damian. And then he didn't get his scene. He didn't get his chance. He was playing bowling football. He was out. Bruno comes in, brings in Bailly, brings in Pogba, brings in Zlatan, all these other players. He didn't get his whatever. He was out. Ole is in. He's brought in all these players. Now, this team is Ole's team. The only reason why I've never said that clearly is because I feel like we've been repeating the same thing, being that we've been used to Feggy for over 26 years. You get it? So it's more like we now adjust into bringing in a new coach, letting him buy his players, and then boom, we kick him out. Right? We don't have that same Chelsea, ways of bringing in coaches and sending them off and all of that. We don't have that. We're not used to that. So I just feel like, Ole, this is your time. Do what you have to do. You have all these players. If you can't do it, you have to be out. To be honest with you, I just feel like United is bigger. It's a bigger job for Ole, But of course, the board believes in him. They've given him all the players he needs. Now you have no excuse. But I've never wanted Ole to be the guy to manage United, because what is his resume? And sometimes people claim resume is not important, but United is United, and I'm used to winning. So I don't have time for a project. I don't have time to be waiting for 5 years and 6 years and talk about rebuilding. I'm not used to that. So I mean, in a nutshell, I've not said anything because I just felt like we've been doing the same thing for the past 3 different managers. So I'm like, okay, let's give him a chance, but not because I want him as a manager. No, okay. Sometimes even after games, his post games comment is just annoying. Just to listen to him. Like you are a manager and you talking about, oh, the players got into Bruno's head. He missed the penalty. Stop making excuses. Stop making flimsy excuses as to why your players are not performing. And he's not a type. I think he's the type of manager that wants to please all the players. And if you're a manager like that, it's not going to work. You can't please everybody. Sometimes when they're wrong, you just let them know you made a wrong decision. If you felt like Bruno was supposed to be the one to take the penalty, he took it. He missed it. Now stop blaming the other goalkeeper and no, stop doing that.
Did you mind that Bruno took the penalty, or did you?
No,
I
didn't mind. And this is what I hate about other people bashing Bruno or bashing all his decisions. Now, mind you, yes, there's no doubt that Ronaldo is one of the most clutchest players ever, if not the clutchest. You know what I'm saying? He in these moments, Ronaldo can handle the pressure. Now, as to whether Bruno felt like he could handle that or not, I don't know. It was very unusual of Bruno, right? The way he played the ball is just, I've never seen that before. I think he was hesitant just to play the ball because Martinez was getting at him and all that. He felt like, okay, let me just score and then get back at him. I think that was what happened. Now, as to whether Ronaldo asked for the ball or not, because before a game starts, the coach makes a decision as to who's going to play the penalty, right? And I feel like they didn't just want to change him instantly. I said, okay, Ronaldo comes in and then boom, Ronaldo is about to play the penalty. You got what I'm trying to say? They didn't want to do that. So he felt like, okay, let me let this guy handle this. And he messed it up. And that was his mistake. And that should be it. I'm not about to talk about, oh, Ronaldo should have played. What if Ronaldo played and then he didn't score? Then people will go back again and go like, oh, why did we let Bruno play? Because Bruno has been scoring all this while. You got what I'm saying? So the narrative is always going to change depending on what happens. Now, as to whether he scored or not, I was never going to be pleased with the results anyway. You know what I'm trying to say? So Bruno missing the penalty had no effect as to how I judged the game. We should have won the game comfortably. We were very uncomfortable. They played haphazardly. Everybody played bad, with the exception of De Gea and Varane. I think Varane did good and De Gea did good. Aside that, everybody played bad. Now, coming to Ronaldo, I don't know if you want me to go into that. Ronaldo is the type of player he's transitioned to become. He's never going to be effective if he doesn't score a goal.
Yeah.
Okay? He's not the player that is going to be dribbling or assisting and all that. So if you can't feed Ronaldo, he's not going to make the headline. Okay? So people are going like, oh, he didn't play well. But that's what he's been doing for the past 2-3 years. He's not going to be, giving the through balls, and he's not going to create chances. He's not going to do that. So if the ball is not given to him, he's not going to be effective. So that should, that is one thing. If you don't give Ronaldo the ball, he's not going to be effective. Right?
Honestly speaking, if I was Bruno, I would just let Ronaldo take it. Not because I'm not confident or not because I don't want to take it, but I just feel like if Ronaldo is there and he can mount on that pressure, why not just let him do it? I know I've done it before, but at this point, again, it's early in the season. They're going to do other opportunities to come about, so it doesn't really hurt.
Bruno also feels like for the past 18 months, he's been the man of the team, right?
Correct.
So now Ronaldo comes in. We all know Ronaldo, but he also wants to be the man. Like he feels like he's the man as well. So for him to go like, okay, take it, it's gonna take something away from him. Players are very egoistic. He has ego as well. So,
but I think if Ronaldo takes it, it kills Bruno's confidence. Like
that's what I'm saying.
If he comes in, you're right. If he comes in and just gives everything to Ronaldo, you take all the penalties, you take all the free kicks, you take everything. Bruno is going to turn into Bruno for Portugal. He's just going to be a sideshow because he plays better when he's the man. You could just like the same thing he did at Sporting. When he's the guy, he's like. There's something about him where he needs to be the man. And if he's not the man, it's not going to work out. So the day Ronaldo comes and takes over all his duties and stuff, like Bruno likes being Bruno. And I'm sure he likes that Ronaldo's there, no doubt. Like he likes that, but he also doesn't want it to be the Ronaldo team. Right? Yeah. All right. So let's wrap it up with the last topic of the day, the North London Derby. We just finished watching it. Arsenal look good, 3-1 win. They
Nah,
play some beautiful football, man. I'm telling you. I know you
nah.
guys are not buying into it, but I saw a team that were connecting passes. You know, like Saka was alive, Smith Rowe was great. Odegaard is excellent in the midfield. He seemed to have, but then again, he had a lot of time on his hands to like dictate play, and Aubameyang is back healthy, and I mean, it seems like they're getting back to, back to their best. Or am I just looking into, or was Spurs just that bad that made an average Arsenal team look good, Ibn?
So let's look at it this way. You know, like last season, how Arsenal basically got their groove against Chelsea, and it was like those games where like they cannot perform. I feel like this is that kind of game that they needed, and they're going to be on the rise with this game. But it still doesn't change the fact that Arsenal is not a top 6 team with the coach that they currently have. No disrespect. I'm asking this. Spurs, again, playing against Spurs. Spurs is a team where this point, this time of the year, like if they are not able to figure things out, I'm sorry to say the whole projection that people have had of them possibly finishing in top 6 is less likely to happen. And again, Spurs is a team that once they're exposed in the midfield, or once you score against them, like a goal or two, difficult for them to come behind. So I'm not surprised that Arsenal won this game in the fashionable way. They didn't really like had to prove anything to like win this particular game. It's Spurs that you're playing against, and like I don't have anything against Spurs, but I'm just stating the fact. Like Spurs is not like up there yet, and they're in a transitional period with the new coach, so it's a learning process for them. It's going to take time, and obviously once they connect, again, this fixture in the future wouldn't be the same. I mean, Arsenal again is not up there yet. That's what I can count about this game.
So you don't think they beat any? The team wasn't that good where you're convinced.
It's nothing new.
What did you think about Arsenal today? Are Arsenal back to being, I guess, a decent team, or was Spurs just bad?
But one interesting thing is Arsenal is always going to be a decent team, because when we talk about decent team, it's relative. What do you mean by decent team? They're always going to be a decent team because they have some, quality players in their team, right? Aubameyang is a world-class striker in my opinion. They have some good.
I guess let's start with like being back into like fighting for Champions League. Like,
definitely. I think what Arteta is doing, because see, they started off very slow, but then if you get past 3-4 games, they've been banging in goals. Despite the opposition they've been playing, they're still scoring goals. They play well today. They scored 3 goals against Spurs. Which a top team like Chelsea also did a week ago. So if you can bang in 3 goals against Spurs, because when Spurs started the season, they weren't conceding goals. They were leading. They won 3 games in a row, right? They were leading, and then all of a sudden everything's gone downhill for them. So I think Arsenal is building slowly. And as Arteta said before the season started, they didn't have the defense partnership with the new guy they signed, and then what's the other guy they signed last season? Gabriel.
Gabriel's there. I don't remember. I don't know.
The new defender, Arsenal's defender. Gabriel, and then they signed a new guy from Brighton. What's his name?
Oh, Ben White.
Ben White, and then Gabriel. So when the season started, it was just Ben White. They didn't have Gabriel. So it's like now they have the 2 of them together.
Yeah, and Ben White even had COVID for he missed a game. Yeah,
exactly.
The whole team wasn't really. Yeah.
So now I think the team is getting back to whatever they have. Tierney's. I mean, they're gelling back together as becoming a unit. So now they know how to play. I think they should be up there on the table, not top 4 obviously, but fit set. I think the way they're moving, the way they're playing now, I mean, they're playing decent football, and I didn't expect that, because when the season started, it was bad. But now I think they're gelling as a team. They're playing together, and I think Arteta has a plan. So hopefully it works out for them.
So you're buying it? You think?
Yeah, I believe they'll do great. I don't think this is just a one-off thing. They've won 3 games in a row. That's not, I can't say that about some team. So. Yeah.
I was disappointed at Spurs. I mean,
I really thought Spurs was going to win the game.
I've never been a fan of Spurs as well, but I mean,
three now. That was Spurs, and that's what I'm saying. I don't know if Spurs were disappointed or Arsenal played well, but Arsenal won 3-1, so we have to give them their credit. Whether Spurs played bad or not, Arsenal won the game, and it didn't even feel like a derby because Spurs were out of the game. They weren't playing well.
Yeah.
The intensity
There
was
was no
very
energy.
low. Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know if is credit due to Arsenal or just Spurs weren't up to the game for today. I don't know. But hey, they won 3-1, and that's a decent scoreline. So kudos to Arsenal. Hopefully they could keep it up for for the long run.
But can we make the excuse that Spurs is going through also right now, and it's expected to happen at this point in the season? Because again, there's a new coach that they have, right?
Yeah, but they have a lot of players out as well. So you can always make excuses. You can always make excuses, but they're not far off the top place. They have 9 points now.
So you think Spurs are okay?
No, they're not playing well, but I don't think it's cause for alarm at this point. It's just 6 games into the season, so you still not really know, You still don't really know because this is a new team. He's adjusting to things, so I don't want to just go like, okay, this is how Spurs is gonna be, at the end of the season. I can't really say that because when he started, he won 3 games on the trot, and then now, so we can't really say that. So we just have to give him time. He's a new coach. He was signing some new players. Harry Kane is off a little bit. Hopefully when he picks up, they'll get there. Because if Harry Kane doesn't pick up, then of course I can confirm that it's a dab. If Harry Kane, because the way he's playing, it's terrible.
Yeah, he looks.
Harry Kane, we know if he's doing that on purpose or it's just that his lack of form, that's fine.
No.
But
I think that he's distracted. I think he's looking at Grealish wearing his number. Grealish playing on the team,
but
Grealish scoring his goal.
It's not going to happen in the next.
I mean, it could happen in January, but it's hard. Charlie, Yaga, when you are planning to do something and get your move, and it doesn't happen and it breaks down, you have to go back to the same place that you worked.
Well, that's why they pay you the big bucks to be a professional.
Yeah, he's being a professional, but
he's not there. I don't think from the onset, the moment the deal didn't go through, he's not been a professional.
Yeah,
but he has no option now. The deal didn't happen, so he can't go like, I'm not going to play football.
No, he is. I don't think he's doing it on purpose. That's not. I don't think
he's doing it on purpose, but that's what it looks like.
No. It's just like his mind. His mind is not there.
Well, get your mind back and become a professional. Because see, if this was Lukaku, the media will be on him. So just stop it. People are just making excuses for Kane. That because the movie didn't happen. If this was Lukaku, if this was Central Aguero, if this was any other player, people will criticize him. So let's stop this. He didn't get the move. Do you know how many people? You know how many players that don't get the move, and they still play? Of course they're not feeding him the ball, but his body language, the way he's moving, is not right. It's not right. And if this was any other player, imagine if this was Pogba. If this was any other body, you know what I'm trying to say? Dude came out to say, I don't want to play for this team. Yeah. Even with Pogba's never come out to say that. His agent says it, of course. His agent represents him, but a lot of other players, and it doesn't happen, and you have to just get back to your game and play. People are making excuses for him, and because I respect him as a striker. I think he's a quality striker.
Yeah, he's very good.
Body language and everything. You're the captain of England. You're the captain of Spurs. You're the assistant captain of Spurs. He's not handling this as a professional.
If this thing keeps going on, we got to get Bobby back on to tell us because
he's not being a professional, and I think listen, it didn't happen. Grealish has your number, whatever it is. If the deal is going to happen, it's going to happen next year or January, whatever is going to happen. But please play for the team. Show us that you care about the team. He's not showing that. Whether he's doing that on purpose or not, I wouldn't know. But from what I'm watching, he's not really showing me that he's playing for the team. That's all I can say. And if he doesn't get his A game up, of course, Spurs is gonna go downhill.
Charlie, you saying like it's easy? Imagine being one of the best strikers in the world, and then playing in Europa Conference League in Lithuania. You think it's easy?
but see.
So yeah, and that's our episode from Yaga, from Ibn and myself. Thank you guys for watching. We'll be back again with another episode when the drama heats up. Whoever's not doing well, we'll be back and talk about it. Hopefully we get the other teams and other representations here to talk about it. So yeah, till next time, guys. Thanks for watching. Peace.